Welcome back to my channel, everyone. 3 Tips here, and what I have today is the jeweler's high-grade bench sweeps that we took out of his workbench drawer there. When he works on his jewelry, he cuts, saws, and files gold, silver, and platinum jewelry. And that's what this is. This is about 5 ounces, 5.3 ounces of high-grade jeweler's bench sweeps. All right, I just got done with the floor sweeps that we got from the jeweler's floor. That's the little dot of gold from that one. And the video is still compiling. There it is. And what I need to do now is go ahead and get busy and continue and get this stuff processed for him. I've had it for a couple weeks now, and he's waiting on it. So let's get moving with this. I'm going to put it into a unglazed melt dish. Here's a close-up look at our material from the jeweler's workbench drawer here. He's got some karat gold in there. There's all kind of stuff in here. First thing we want to do is take this out to the furnace out here. All right, I've got a furnace set up here, and what we'll do is put the material in. I just turned it on, so it's still cold. But we're going to burn out the material in our furnace and incinerate anything in there that might be combustible. We've been in the oven now for about a half hour. We got 730 degrees on the temperature gun here. I'm gonna stir this up a little bit and let it cook a little bit longer. I'd like to see it up over 1,000 degrees. Let this go. I've got my mask on. This is an experiment to see if you can hear what I'm saying. You can see we're up over 1,000 degrees. Now what we're going to do is open up the furnace, take a look and see what we got in here. It's looking pretty good. Temperature is out of spec high, so that tells me we're up over 1,000 degrees. I can see some material in there glowing red. So I think we're going to be done here. I think we got the incineration complete. I'm going to reach in here and grab the melt dish. I'm going to pull it up here and let it cool off. I'm going to put a little bit of the material in this dish here, grind it up. Alright, I've got it ground up as best I can for the size of the chunks here. Now we're going to put it through the strainer. Strain out the powder. And then we'll save the little pieces of material here for further processing. And keep going just like that until I got all this stuff ground up. Last bit of material here. I've got everything ground up now. I've passed the finely divided particles into this beaker through the strainer. This stuff here is all going to be carat gold. I'm going to have to sort through this manually. I've got a magnet in a plastic bag. We're going to go through this material and pull out any magnetic stuff that we find. There's a little steel pin there. Not a whole lot in here. This is going to be mostly carat gold stuff, high value stuff. So as you can see, we're not pulling a whole bunch of magnetic material here, which is good. Alright, this was all the magnetic stuff I could pull. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these pieces that are magnetic, put them in the trash back here. These little rings have steel springs in them, but they're still made out of gold, so I'll save those. Carat gold. This stuff here is going to have to be ground up, so I'll put this back in the mortar and pestle. Now we'll go through this piece of steel junk. Here's a brass hub to a cutting wheel. Trash. I'm putting the pieces of carat gold over here in this center container in the back there. Here's a little stone. I'm going to put that in this container back here. Say the stone. All these little square pieces are little chunks of gold from rings that he's cut apart. So I'll save all of that into a separate container. This is silver wire that he uses to make repairs. So I'll put that. Here's a piece of steel pin here. That's trash. Just got to go through this all piece by piece. Get all this stuff sorted out.
How would you like to have to do this for a living? But in the end, it will be worth it. There is several $1,000s worth of metal in this lot.
It's taken me about an hour and a half. This is all the junk metal pins and stuff that is non-precious metals. This is all of the precious metals pieces. I hand picked those out of this group. And then these are all the gemstones and pieces of gem stuff. I'm going to give that back to the jeweler. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to put this material back into the mortar and pestle. We're going to go out and grind this up one more time.
Forgot to turn the mic on again. Sorry. We're going to grind this up to try to separate the bits of metal from that black ash. Got it all ground up. Now we'll pour it through the strainer and separate out the finely divided powder. Okay, you can see the little bits of metal that I've separated out from that black powder. We'll take this in and add it to the rest of the batch. Okay, these small squares of gold are 14K gold solder chips. He uses those to make repairs on jewelry. What I'm going to do is add the rest of these bits of metal in with the rest of the carat, and we're going to go out and melt this up into a button.
Sorted carat material. It's going to have some silver, carat gold, maybe some platinum in it. I'm going to put it in a melt dish now. Now we'll fire up the torches and melt this up into a button. I'm going to have to stop the melt. If you look right here, the melt dish is cracked. So I'm going to have to stop this now. Well, if it ain't one thing, it's another. If you look right there, we've got a crack. So what I'm going to do is I've got another melt dish that I've checked out all the way around, make sure there's no cracks. We'll transfer the material from the cracked dish into this dish now, carefully. There we go. There we go. Got it. No problem.
I left my mic in my shirt pocket, so that's why I'm having sound issues here. I'm adding the oxyacetylene torch to get a nice hot mix of that metal.
Want to get a nice alloy here. Now we can check the carat of the gold. Once we get it all mixed up real good. There we go. I'm going to throw some flux on here. That's a little bit of borax. Just kind of take the skin off the top there. It's just borax I'm adding to it there. Alright, let me see if I can get this out of the dish now. See if it's hardened. It has. Alright, here's our clump of metal. I'm going to dunk it in the water here. Alright, let's take a look at our metal. It's a little hockey puck of carat gold. What I want to do now is check this puck with some test acid here to see what we got. I'm rubbing it at different spots all the way around the edge here. Alright, we're going to apply some 14K gold testing acid here. See what kind of result we get. Testing to be low carat gold, 10K or less. So I think what we can do is maybe just alloy just a little bit more silver with this piece, and then pour some granules and do an extraction with hot dilute nitric acid. Before I proceed with the hockey puck, what I'm going to do here is add some distilled water to this powdered material in this beaker. That's about up to the 300 milliliter level. Put in some nitric acid. I'm going to add about 50 milliliters, I guess. It's a little high on what we really need, but I want to get all the silver pulled out of this material. All right, this is a finely divided material. I'm going to leave it down off the heat for right now and just let it start reacting by itself. It's already heating up in there, so I don't want to boil it over. Once this gets going and then calms down, we'll set it up on the heat. I don't think I'm going to add any silver here. We're just going to go ahead and remelt this button and pour it in some water, make some granules, and part it with hot dilute nitric acid. Here we go. We're going to pour it in some water now. Alright, I didn't get it all into the water here. Didn't have the torch hot enough. There we go. Get rid of this tap water now and get our encorded gold. Transfer this down into a beaker. All right, let's rinse this off with some distilled water. Okay, here's our gold. What we'll do now is I've got some nitric acid here, used nitric from a previous refining. We're going to add that right on in now. Now we'll cover this up, stick it up on the heat, and let this react. Okay, let's do a review. I've got the powdered, finely divided solids in this beaker on the heat with some dilute nitric to pull all the silver out of it. Over here, I've added hot dilute nitric acid to pull the silver out of this encorded gold. It was encorded because it already had silver mixed in with it. And so now we're going to pull out the silver and base metals with hot dilute nitric acid out of both of these beakers. I've got some more used dilute nitric. I'm going to add it right on in to this reaction right here. Just pour it right on in and let this boil. While I'm at it, add a little bit more distilled water to this and some more nitric. Go ahead and pour a little bit more nitric acid right on in. I want to make sure I get all the silver pulled out of this powdered material. All right, I'm going to try to speed things up here a little bit. We're going to bring this beaker and set him up here on the stir plate. I've got a stir bar. I'm going to go ahead and put that down in there. See if we can stir this mixture as we heat it. All right, these are both doing pretty good. I'm going to crank the heat up a little bit on this one. These have been on boiling now for about 3 hours. We're going to let them go for another hour. All right, it's getting late. I'm going to pull this guy down off of the stir plate here. We're going to let this cool down. We're going to pull this down. And we'll let both of these settle overnight. I'm going to go in and get some rest. We'll come back out, first thing in the morning and continue with the rest of the process.